I'm Katie.
And I'm Kristina.
And today we're going to explain to you a miracle.
The Economiracle.
So get ready to learn some cool stuff.
What could you be doing if you weren't watching this video? Working on homework, taking a nap, going out to dinner? The possibilities are endless. As it turns out, every time you do anything, you give up something else. The next best thing you give up every time you make a choice is called your opportunity cost. The cost of not being able to do your second choice. When we decide what activities to do, we should do whatever we have the lowest opportunity cost for, because that means we're giving up the least. For example, it doesn't make sense for Tiger Woods to spend an hour mowing someone else's lawn and making $10 when he could have made much more money playing golf in a tournament for that hour. He will give up the least if he plays golf and gives up $10 instead. If everyone specializes in what they have the lowest opportunity cost for, what they're giving up the least for, and then trades, everyone will be better off than if they try to do everything by themselves.
Going along with the concept of opportunity cost is the idea of comparative advantage. Comparative advantage means that everyone has the lowest opportunity cost for something, even if they're not the best at anything.
For example, Bill Gates is better at managing Microsoft than I am, and is probably also better at mowing lawns. For every hour he spends mowing a lawn, though, no matter how good he is at it, he's giving up all the profits he could be making running Microsoft. It makes the most sense for him to spend his time running Microsoft. And even though I'm bad at managing Microsoft and mowing lawns, I'm so bad at running Microsoft that it makes the most sense for me to spend my time mowing lawns, even though Bill Gates is better at it than I am.
Imagine that two people, Katie and Kristina, got stuck on a deserted island after a plane crash. They explore the island looking for food and water and find that the island has all the supplies and machinery necessary to make Reese's Cups and Starbursts. Unfortunately, they can't make a boat to get themselves off the island, but they can at least make some food, so they get to work making Reese's and Starbursts.
As Katie and Kristina practice their candy making, they realize that if Katie works all day, she can make either 6 Starbursts or 3 Reese's Cups. If Kristina works all day, she can make either 4 Starbursts or 1 Reese's Cup. Katie has the absolute advantage in their new candy factory. She's better at making both Starburst and Reese's.
Does that mean that Kristina is just out of luck? No. Remember opportunity cost? Every time Katie makes a Reese's Cup, she's losing the opportunity to make Starbursts. And every time she makes Starbursts, she's losing the opportunity to make Reese's. Katie's opportunity cost means that Kristina will have a comparative advantage. She will have a lower opportunity cost in either Reese's or Starbursts, meaning it's more efficient for her to make one of those candies than it is for Katie to make it.
Katie and Kristina know all about how if people specialize, where they have the lowest opportunity cost or comparative advantage, they'll be able to produce more, so they decide to calculate their opportunity costs.
To calculate opportunity cost, there's a formula. Opportunity cost is the value of the best foregone option divided by the value of the actual choice. So to calculate Katie's opportunity cost for Reese's, we do 6 Starbursts divided by 3 Reese's, because Starbursts are her foregone option if she's choosing to make the Reese's. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. Or in other words, she's giving up 2 Starbursts for every 1 Reese's Cup that she makes. Kristina's opportunity cost for Reese's are 4 Starbursts divided by 1 Reese's. Or in other words, for every 1 Reese's she makes, she's giving up 4 Starbursts. If we do the same thing with Starbursts, we see that the opportunity cost of 1 Starburst for Katie would be 3 divided by 6, or half of a Reese's for every 1 Starburst. For Kristina, it would be 1 divided by 4, or in other words, she's giving up 1/4 of a Reese's Cup for every 1 Starburst she makes.
Now that we know their respective opportunity costs, we can also see who has the comparative advantage in what. For Reese's Cups, Katie has the comparative advantage because she's only giving up 2 starbursts for every 1 Reese's she makes, whereas Kristina has to give up 4 starbursts for every 1 Reese's cup. Katie is giving up less than Kristina, so she should specialize in Reese's. And when it comes to starbursts, Katie has to give up a half of a Reese's cup for every 1 starburst she makes, but Kristina only gives up 1/4 of a Reese's cup for every 1 starburst she makes. That means that Kristina has a comparative advantage in starbursts. This means Katie should specialize in Reese's, making 3 of them a day, and Kristina should specialize in starbursts, making 4 of them a day.
Now that they've specialized, neither of them is better off, yet. Katie makes 3 Reese's a day, and Kristina makes 4 starbursts a day, and not much has changed since before they started specializing. But soon Kristina realizes that she's missing out big time, because at least with Reese's cups, Katie is getting some protein in with the peanut butter, while Kristina is basically just eating concentrated sugar. Kristina's getting pretty hungry, so she decides to propose a trade.
At first, she tries to trade 1 starburst for 1 Reese's cup, but Katie shoots that down because that's less than she could make on her own. Next, Kristina proposes to trade 2 starbursts for 1 Reese's cup, but Katie rejects that offer too, because for every 1 Reese's, she can make 2 starbursts on her own without the hassle of having to trade with Kristina. Finally, Kristina decides to trade 3 starbursts for 1 Reese's cup. Katie accepts this offer and ends up with 2 Reese's cups and 3 starbursts, and Kristina ends up with 1 Reese's cup and 1 starburst.
Did that trade really make them better off? Let's take a look. Because Katie can make 2 starbursts for every 1 Reese's, if she had worked all day on her own, she could have made 2 Reese's cups and 2 starbursts. But after trading, she now has 2 Reese's cups and 3 starbursts. And because Kristina can make 1 Reese's cup or 4 starbursts, if she had worked all day on her own, she could have made 1 Reese's cup. But now she has 1 Reese's cup and 1 starburst. Because they specialized according to their comparative advantage and then traded, both of them ended up with an extra starburst.
It's an Economiracle!